Welcome to Fallawsophy. I'm your host, Jennifer Fallaw-Doering, and my philosophy is to believe in infinite possibilities. So, we have a lot to talk about today. Today is October 18th, 2022, and I see we've already got a lot of people in the chat. I do have Gentel for today, and we call it that because it's easier than saying the information I got from the archangels of meditation. And if it's your first show you're catching from me, I am an angelic medium, and I choose to work only with God, Jesus, Blessed Mother, and a handful of true divine archangels, and I talk to them and I get information for people for their lives. Recently, for the last 2.5 years, I've been doing it to retrieve information about what's going on in the world, and could be right on, could be wrong. That's the way it goes. Everything comes through your personal filters, and so you just try to take a step back and be a clean vehicle to find hope and answers for the people. And that's what I try to do. Now, if you are tuning in from a live on Facebook, please, when you ask me a question later, put your name on there, because sometimes, right now it looks like it's coming through with your name, but sometimes it doesn't from there. So today, we've got quite a bit of information about what's going on. And then I will give you the Gentel, and then I will take your questions later. So if you haven't joined my Telegram, let's see if I got a ticker or something for that. Big. So, Fallawsophy on Telegram. No, that's not it. All right. Got that. I've got, I need to make one. There's the website. Yeah. There we go. Let's do that. It's like I need somebody to do this for me. No, I don't. I can do it. I just, it's not seamless. No promises on that. There we go. I found it. There's a long list of these I made earlier. So Fallawsophy on Telegram. So if you've not gone to Telegram and joined our Fallawsophy group there, we have a chat. I post as things happen throughout the day. I'll post what I think. I'll ask the angels. I'll, talk to God. And, and everybody can talk to God, okay? It's called prayer, and you should try it sometime. And, for anybody who's just joining us, I'm not afraid to say God, and I'm not afraid to pray, and I'm not afraid to stay in my circle there. And I don't entertain anything dark. I'm actually so anti dark with what I do. So it is my intention to help the people in any way that I can. As one of God's helpers, there are many helpers. And when there is an important message, it will come through many channels to get to you. Even those very unexpected. If you found your way to me, like many people have told me over the last 25 years, there's a reason for it. Okay. So I just don't like to, I don't like to put all the ego into it and stuff like that. Call myself a prophet, which some people do. I'm a prophet. I talk to God. I talk to Jesus and stuff. I just do my best as a human being to be a clean vehicle for that. And that's where we're at. Okay. So today, I want to talk about a couple things I saw on Telegram. A couple questions my chatters asked me. We call them philosophers. That's cute. The Fallawsophy name, because my name was Jennifer Fallaw, And my children's last name is Fallaw. And I was talking to my daughter a few years back in the car about something. She's a total smartass. And she was telling me something. She goes, "That's my philosophy." And she goes, "Get it? Fallawsophy." I'm like, "Oh, that's brilliant. I'm using that. You're a genius." So Telegram and this show is called Fallawsophy. It was originally started so that I could just talk about anything, just be me and tell you what I think, tell you what I get, unapologetically. And my Telegram channel is the same. And we will talk about anything in that chat. So, I mean, if you need prayers, you want to talk about what you made for dinner, you got a good dog photo, you want to share some music, you want to talk about world events, you want to complain about something, you need somebody to gather around you, but that's what we're there for. We will laugh with you too. So join our chat on Telegram. So somebody asked me up yesterday about the Kamala resignation. I got that that's not something that's happened yet. But what I got when I got that was kind of like misinformation. But when I thought about it, they will start to leak information out when something is coming. And that's what I thought about that. I thought, that's interesting that would come out right now. It wasn't just it could be just some person who shared it, but really, it just seems to me that the idea of a happening will start to leak out right before it happens. So keep an eye out for that. Then, I told you guys a while ago that Mike was saying on Real News Live that I do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with him, Mike Barra, before that he got information that there was a bed being prepared for somebody at Walter Reed Hospital. And I told him a long time ago, well, it's Leahy. You know, they have to start pulling out the people in the way of Grassley getting into position. And then we found out this weekend or whenever it was, or Friday, that it was Leahy. That's interesting. And when that happened, I told you, keep an eye out for news about Kamala. Of course, you know, Biden and Pelosi. And interesting that when I went in to get a situation update, Grassley was on my mind. So I went in once last night and I was just tired and I had all these distractions, you know, the kids and the dogs and everybody wanted me. So I couldn't really stay in for long, but I got a little bit of information last night and then I went back in this morning. And so meditation for me is just a light meditation. I listen to music and it's like all of a sudden you just walk into a dream. You know, I'm just sitting there. It's not some weird kind of, lose consciousness kind of thing. I'm just sitting there on my bed, closing my eyes, getting a peaceful place. And then I just like walk into this dream and I can see 360. I can see all around me. The clarity varies on how I feel. And, but I started doing this a long time ago when I was widowed and I was raising 2 children by myself, young children. And I needed God and I needed guidance and I didn't want to worry my family. And I was, everything's fine. Everything's okay. I just need some guidance to help me raise these kids, help me keep going. And someone said, oh, you should meditate for stress. And I'm like, right. My house is so loud, I'm like, that's boring. I'm supposed to sit there in the quiet and just like stare at the wall or something. And, how boring is that? So I always knew I was going to go somewhere. And I decided at the time that I used to dream about this tree throughout my lifetime. Ever so often I dream about this tree and I'd go to this tree and it was very peaceful there. And I just knew it was like heaven. I just knew I was safe there. And I was always talking to people there. And so I decided to go to my tree. And long story there, but over time, the archangels walked up, Jesus walked up, and a long time ago, I'm just thinking, "Whoa, God, I'm so creative! What a wonderful fantasy I'm having here." I just walk in there and talk to everybody. But over time, they're individual. Guys, gonna have to bear with me a little bit here. My Wi-Fi just went down to 1 dot, so I don't know what's going on there. But if we cut out, we'll just do this again. Anyway, long story short, over many years, we tested it out with another individual who used a different method to go to the same places I would go, and found out that I was going to heaven. And I was talking to him, and the information I was receiving was correct. And I even tested the individual that I was working with, and I said, okay, Archangel Michael, I don't trust him. It's too good. It's got to be deceiving me somehow. I went in and I said, okay, I'm going to send him in here. I'm not going to tell him anything. You show up, you give him the code word. The code word is yellow. And if he comes back and he tells me, I will continue with this, and I will do what you want me to do. I will do what God wants me to do. And so he goes into meditation. We're responding via email. So what we would do is we'd go into meditation with questions and ask the archangels questions that you can't normally get the answers to. And I say, go into meditation. Someone wants to talk to you. And so then I'm waiting for the email, and I'm like, oh my God, what if he is deceiving me? This is, and then he comes back with the email and he says, I don't know what you wanted me to do or who you wanted me to talk to, but Archangel Michael was there, and he said, he looked at me and he said, yellow, and told me to go. And I went, oh my God. Oh my God. All right. Okay. And so that's, many, many years later, here I am. And so people ask me, I try my best. Sometimes I get in my own way. And but I teach people how to do it too, because there's been nothing that has brought me more peace in my life to be able to go in and get my own counsel, to get my own healing, to get my own answers. Sometimes you're not so right about your own life. It's much easier with strangers. But I've been trying to do this with this situation that's going on for us patriots. And I do my best. If it's right, yay. If it's wrong, I screwed up somehow. Never God, never Jesus, never the angels. So I did that. I went in. And let's talk about Telegram real quick, because of the other question before I get into the good stuff. And Telegram, somebody put something out yesterday about, get off Telegram quick. It's bad. I was like, I seem to remember a time. I'm also a very experienced mother. Okay, between my husband and I, we've raised 4. Okay, so it teaches you some things. You listen. You're like, all right, what's really going on here? So when I heard that, I'm like, you know what? I've heard this before. It's the whole TikTok thing all over again. Remember when TikTok came out and it started rising in popularity? And all right, this is bugging me. I'll turn this thing off. We'll do that later. Okay. So when they're rising in popularity, and everybody's like, oh, get off TikTok. China's, getting access to your phones, and they're getting all this information. Did everybody get off TikTok? No. Just merrily along, just got more and more popular. Now everybody's on TikTok. I didn't get on TikTok because of that. But what's Telegram doing right now? What are Telegram's numbers? Is Truth Social as popular as expected? And how convenient, how coincidental that we hear that right after news that, what's his face? Completely lost his name. Is purchasing TikTok, not TikTok, Parlor. Kanye. I heard reports that Kanye was purchasing Parlor. And then immediately after, oh, get off of this one. Oh, get off of that one. It's like, listen, let's just be frank about everything. If they want your information, they have many ways to get it. They want access to your computer, they have many ways to get it. I mean, the banks have had breaches, the credit cards have had breaches. You got more information over there than you do on social media. Yeah, they may be able to copy your profile and make fake profiles, but sooner or later those fail. People know it's not you. This really feels to me more like we've got too many platforms. Telegram is getting popular. And we got to get more people either over to Truth or to Parlor. And there's a big shakeup, kind of like social media war going on and coming up. So, excuse me. I wasn't concerned about that. And like Facebook. I mean, you're worried about people are still on Facebook. I'm still on Facebook. And I swear to God, they're picking up on your brainwaves. I really think so. I really think so. That just sounds so out there and crazy. But like, I can think of something like an item. Like I'll go to the store. And of course, I always forget exactly what I went to the store for. And then I come home with everything else. And I'm like, damn it. Now I got to go to the store again. And I'm in the car and I'm thinking about that item. And then I get home, put everything away, sit down, open up Facebook, still think about that item. Oh, yeah, I'll have to go and get that item. What's the first thing I see? Ads for that item. Test it out. Think of something random. Just totally random that you would not normally see in an ad. And they already know if you type anything into your phone, they've already got the information. Come on. We're monitored, we're tapped, everything, they get whatever they want right now, the way the world is. So I wouldn't freak out like, oh, China's going to come and get us all because we're on television. I really don't think so. What are they going to get? We're in a state of the world right now. You're worried, oh, they're going to take all our money out of our bank accounts. They're going to steal our identity. They can take it right now if they wanted to. And I don't think they will. Everybody says, oh, we're going to lose all our money. No. Short period of time, it'll come back. If it goes down, it'll come back up. Money will be there. Okay. So, meditation. So, last night was interesting. I went in for a short period of time, and I asked, will Senator Grassley, I had Grassley on my mind. I said, will Grassley step in as president? And he said, yes, 20 days. I'm like, oh my God, don't give me a date. Don't give me a date. Because like for 20 days, I'm going to be stressed out, right? So that's approximate, all right? It could be a little less, could be a little more. And so I'm thinking, wait a minute. Isn't that the day before the election? I went, whoa, okay. This kind of matches up with I saw the election starting and then I saw it like blackout. Just black. That's what I saw earlier this week or last week, whatever. Then I asked him, why doesn't Pelosi take the job? And he said, she is disqualified. Ooh, how is she disqualified? I said, why? And didn't say anything. When they don't want to answer you, they just stare at you. Very nicely, but just stare at you. Okay. I think that was more me though, because I was getting distracted. But I felt when he said that she no longer had the opportunity or was no longer in the line to take the job, which is interesting. So there's a couple ways that could happen. So this morning I went in and I said, yesterday you said 20 days because the 20 days out there say 20 days if that is not correct. And he said, I said, so let's talk about, okay, if it's 20 days, how does that happen? How does that happen? And before I say this, sometimes they will say something in a way that I would not word it so that I know I heard them. Like just example, like if I say, well, is this going to happen? Yes or no? They'll say not. Because your mind, when you put words in their mouth, which is easy to do in dreams and thoughts and anything, because if you want something to happen or you don't want it to happen, if you say you're expecting yes or no, and you gotta know, then you could worry that, well, maybe that was just me. But sometimes they'll say like not. So yesterday, actually no, this morning I said, how does this happen? How does Grassley get into position? And he said, excursion in the North China Sea. North China Sea. And I'm like, I don't think people really refer North China Sea. So I had to look it up. And it said that that's actually an error. People shouldn't refer to it, but do refer to it as the North China Sea, but it's actually the Yellow Sea. And I looked it up, and it's right next to North and South Korea. He okayed an excursion, sent them out, excuse me, without Congress approval, is what he said. What do you need Congress's approval for? Or something like that. And that lines up with Biden removed for trying to start a world war. And so that they're going to skate out of it with him being, use the excuse of him being, having dementia, not knowing what he's doing. And I don't think so. Kamala does resign. I still think she's done it yet. So that takes him out. That takes her out. Then we have Pelosi, my favorite person. And if you guys been following me, you know how much, oh my God, that woman irks me. The level of evil there is just ridiculous. And I said, what about Pelosi then? Pelosi just qualified for involvement. And I felt like that was in numerous things. It might not be in the actual excursion in the North China Sea, but I felt like that was for multiple things. Then he said Pelosi is the leader. So they'll say like one sentence and then you like get this other information that floods in with it. Because when they start talking, so it's kind of like, telepathy. It's kind of like sending all the information of the answer to a question, because the more they talk, the more you think and the more you might not hear. So they only say a few things and then they'll send the rest of the information and you're processing. Pelosi is the leader, not Biden, not Obama. She has been the leader of the pack pulling strings in the Biden administration all this time. All this time. Which makes so much sense because I am a very loving person. I don't go around hating people. I don't do that. But if somebody's pissing me off, it takes a lot to piss me off. If they're pissing me off and I'm just looking at this woman, I'm like, I don't like her. I don't like her at all. She's really pissing me off. She's just standing there, but she's really pissing me off. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. And everybody thinks, oh yeah, we all knew the cabal was behind Biden's actions and all this stuff. Who's telling him? Oh, we've got Obama in the basement. No, we don't. It's Pelosi. Leahy will be out, and that is either. And I don't like to forecast it. I don't care who they are. I don't like to forecast somebody passing away, but I really think that's it. Either that. Well, I think he already did. But it's either health. He's not fit for the position. Either dead or he's not well enough. And then Grassley is in. And the election is interrupted. That's I got how we get there. So something happens in the North China Sea. Biden's responsible. Without Congress approval, Kamala resigns. Biden's removed for trying to start a world war. Then Pelosi is disqualified for involvement in, we've got a basket of things that we could disqualify her for. Excuse me, I got sinus going on. And Pelosi's the leader of the pack. The cabal, and that's why. And I told you a long time ago, Pelosi, they got to Pelosi and they said, listen, you're going to play ball or we're going to draw a cord and drag it through the street. And so she's like, okay. So she has been like this. Do not assume that she is good in any way, but doing what the good guys tell her and then doing what the bad guys tell her, like both. So it's confusing on that, how that went. But originally, Pelosi's the one who was pulling the strings. The pandemic, everything. That's why it's so easy for that woman to stay in her position. And I told everybody a long time ago, okay, so why isn't it? It just bugged me. I mean, I wasn't even doing this then on the shows, but I remember watching her and I'm like, why is she holding those articles of impeachment? She should just be skipping merrily down to the Senate and giving it to them. Why is she holding it? Why is she holding it? Why is she holding it? And then she gives it to them right when she's sure that the virus stuck, that we're on to the pandemic. That's when she gave it to them. And you see her down in Chinatown, whatever. Oh, come on down here. You ever see her congregating with the people? No. The January 6th thing, she headed that up. There are so many things for that woman to go down for. And possibly when the white hats know all this. And possibly they told her, listen, this is how it's going to go. We'll keep you in until we need you out. And then we'll pull you out. And for this or that. And that's all there is to it. And I told you guys a while ago that she'll do anything to save her ass. It's all about her. And so I guess she didn't want to die. and probably live in prison or something. And so, but I don't really know. I don't really know how all that went, but this is the gist of it. But that made total sense to me today with everything I've been feeling about this woman. Involvement. Recently, we had a video come out about Pelosi saying how she would punch the president of the United States in the face for trespassing on Capitol grounds. So why can't the president go to the Capitol? Why can't he just walk right in? Why is that trespassing? First of all, that stuck out to me the most. And you said you're going to attack the president of the United States as the Speaker of the House. Shocking. So it's interesting that information, after all this time, has come out now. I think we got a lot of foreshadowing going on right now. We got Leahy, whether they released him or not. I didn't really catch up on that. You guys posted if they did. If he was released from the hospital. A lot of foreshadowing. So Leahy goes in, okay, Leahy's not against health. If you hear anything about North Korea, foreshadowing, leaks out some bogus thing that Kamala had resigned. Foreshadowing. Bink, 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 bink. So we got, 20 days for all this to go down? I think we're in for an exciting 2.5 weeks. So I'm excited. Sounds like good TV to me. I don't know if we'll actually see it. Well, we would have to. We would have to see it. And maybe it's time that we're seeing these things. Cool. I will screenshot this. Take a picture of my Gentel for today. And you know what? Just to let you guys know, I'm in meditation writing this down, so it is messy. So good luck reading it. But so it's just kind of like look down, so there it is. Anyway, people wanted me to post the notes that I take in my spiral notebook because I am old-fashioned and I have to write everything down in a spiral notebook. That's just the way I am. I have them in my office. It's just like full of them. So I will post that on Telegram, and I'm thinking about, if I can do it, making like a separate group or page where I just has that so they don't get lost. But I'm gonna have to go back and see where I want to start. Not very organized with the notebook. I just gonna throw it over on the stack of notebooks when I'm done with one and start with the next. So I am very hopeful about let's go over that. So I didn't do a show on this, but I got information and I put it on Telegram. I like Telegram. I don't care what they say. What's going to happen? Put it on Telegram the other day. Well, I was excited because then I woke up the next day and somebody had shared it and there was like 7,000 views or something. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, yay. So, all right. So I had thoughts about scrolling, thoughts over coffee. And this was on the 17th. I said, if it is indeed true that Trump was appointed head of negotiations for the Global Alliance in charge of the transition to Jassara Nassara, as my sources have told me, then wouldn't he have diplomatic immunity? And if he had diplomatic immunity, how could they arrest him as a private citizen? People keep asking me, oh, is there going to be arrest? Is there going to be arrest? No. I keep saying no. No. Every answer I get is no. I could be wrong, but that's what I get. Is this why he never seems too concerned about it? Is this why every attempt fails? Are the attacks simply an attempt by the minions left behind to influence the public? Could be. Or is it just to show the public the ruthlessness of the cabal? I do think a lot of this has been that. Without the public experiencing it personally and letting it get to the point where they do, which we're pretty close to that, but they can see how somebody is completely, a lot of the truthers, we've seen this, how the cabal will completely try to destroy you and they will not give up. That may be part of the lesson as we move forward, so that people will understand why all of this had to happen to pull that control away. I mean, think about it logically. The world would never attempt such a massive transition without a governing board to oversee the process. I said, do you really think there are no managers? Of course there is an alliance. This Asara Jasara thing is the entire reason for everything. It was the first objective. It's the last objective. It is the reason why we have gone through so many phases in this behind-the-scenes war. Now, you think they're just going to send out a memo and say, everybody, okay, this is what we all need to do. We're all going to do this, okay? Okay? And then just trust that all these different governments and everything are going to comply? No. I mean, everything has a, especially if you're dealing with the military, too. And all the militaries in different countries, it has a lot to do with it. You've got a chain of command. So there are managers. And who is in charge of the financial negotiations? Donald Trump. And let me just finish reading what I wrote, because I put it out pretty good, because I tend to stray here. Now, wouldn't that board of managers have to function outside the laws and restrictions of their own country? Travel in and out of other countries and be immune to somebody saying, oh, broke that law, throw you in jail. And then it sabotages the whole mission. We have seen evidence of Donald Trump's involvement in this. And if he is indeed, which I believe he is, the head guy in charge of this QFS, the new financial system, all the transition, he has diplomatic immunity. And that's why I believe he will not be arrested. The other reason is because I asked and they said no. Why would Trump travel around to so many countries during this presidency? Do you really think he would be welcomed with open arms? Oh, he's a popular guy. Yeah, we all love you now. Come on in. Just because he's so likable, what is the one common denominator? The one carrot that would lead even the most ruthless of dictators to see things his way? Money. It wasn't, when he was traveling around, it wasn't all about relations with the USA, which, partially. It was about negotiating terms and conditions to transition to a new global system, one of freedom from the cabal's evil grip. Logically, it makes sense to me that being the president of the United States was his secondary position all along. And he still holds the first, the primary position. If you think about it that way, his behavior makes a lot more sense. Lack of concern. It's not like he's not concerned, but he's always confident. He's always relaxed. He's always, he doesn't freak out. He's just like it doesn't matter much. The Q movement and the Anons was very important. It provided hope, but also created a strong foundation of people who would not crumble under the weight of created situations. The situations provided cover for the cleanup and transition that had to take place, and that movement grew worldwide. I always wondered why truthers and those involved with the QFS were so focused on Donald Trump and the USA. Yeah, it looked like, because they know who's heading the financial negotiations. I was always wondering, why Simon Parks and Charlie Ward and everybody's so always talking about the USA. They're always talking about Donald Trump. I'm like, why are they so focused on that? Why are they so focused on that? And if you take a look at the financial, like the US dollar, excuse me, was really at the center of everything. Yeah. There's more to it than that. They're really looking to him, and everybody's been looking to him to get the go-ahead. And I'm like, well, that makes sense now. That really makes sense. And everybody's like, oh, well, he's the head of the, he's still commander-in-chief. Well, yeah. He would have to be. As part of this position, I believe. But if you've got certain individuals on some kind of board heading this global transition into freedom for the people, financial freedom, taking down the cabal, everybody gets to have their own country back without the cabal's influence. You've got certain individuals across the globe that are on some council, and we call it the Alliance. Well, together it's the Alliance, but you've got the governing board of the Alliance, and in that governing board, what I got is that Donald Trump is the head of the financial negotiations, he's head of the financial part, because he is such a good negotiator. And when he went around talking to Putin and talking to all these people, was even invited to North Korea, talk to him, and oh, hello, yes, sir. Why is everybody like, yes, I'll talk to you? Money. Then remember back to that phone call that when we all started watching Phil, I think it was in the beginning when I started watching Phil, because everybody's like, oh, people told me you got to watch Phil because he's confirming the things that you're saying. I'm like, who's this Phil? Okay. So I start watching Phil, and I'm like, he is. And then I'm like all excited. I'm like, oh, yay, well, confirmation, because I don't always get all the confirmation, right? From the way that I get the information. I'm like, oh, that's cool, because his information is coming from a legitimate source. I have believed that from the beginning, and I will not back down from it. We all kid around and we say all these things and blah, blah, blah. I like the guy. All right. He's a very likable person. He's a total man. Some things he does, he scares people, pisses people off. I don't care. I don't care what he does in his personal life. It's not my business. But when he was invited to that phone call, And there's a secret phone call a while back, a long time ago. Trump was there. And what did Trump say in that phone call that certain truthers were privy to? How are the negotiations going? At the time, I think we were thinking that he meant about overturning the election. He was talking about money. He was talking about Nasara Jassara. He was talking about this whole thing. How are the negotiations going? And if you think about it, having Biden come in and screwing everything up probably was necessary. Necessary scare event. I'm scared. I mean, it's scared. Not really, but I'm scared. Like the, I mean, okay, they're bad guys and they're stupid and they're ruining the world. You just rip them right out of there now. That's fine. That's enough. That's enough. But you know what? Sometimes somebody's got to feel it before they change. Something like if you've got a young adult child and they moved out, and I'm not quite there yet. I mean, well, I've got one that moved out, but like this is not the situation. But I do know some people that have been in this situation, and they're not paying their bills, and they're screwing around, and they're not doing what they're supposed to, and you have to keep, shelling out so they don't pay their rent and everything else, and they don't stop doing it. They don't stop doing it because they don't feel the severity. They know they don't feel it's not real because somebody's always bailing them out, and then you have to come to the hard decision to say, you know what, I got to stop bailing them out. It's a tough love thing. They aren't seeing it. They're not getting it. They're not listening to my words. They have to feel it. And I think that's probably what happened here with the Biden administration letting that idiot in, which was just like actor, right? There's been 3 of them. Dude's dead. Long time ago. And I never understood how this is a movie. Now I do. Kind of do. It's all coming together. Piece by piece. But it would also provide cover for Donald Trump to be free to move around and to work on this. Wouldn't it? And they're all still trying to kill him, and they're still trying to, take him out, and they're trying to arrest him, and they're trying to just discredit him, and they're doing everything else to all little minions that still remain. Could that part of it be showing you how persecuted he is? It's very interesting. Very interesting the way things are coming together now. I do believe that Phil was privy to that phone call. I don't think that was bullshit at all. I mean, I felt that one. Why would they do that? Why would they let him be privy to that phone call and knowing that he and he could tell us? Probably telling him he could tell us. Well, there are many who have chosen to be helpers, different levels, to put out information, to put out disinformation. The 17 movement. I don't know why I'm trying to edit my words now. I've been saying all kinds of crap. Hopefully this doesn't get taken down. It was very important. It was very important because if they had attempted such a thing without it. And my woo-woo out there information I got a long time ago with this is Trump's fourth attempt, and there is time travel involved. Just telling you. Okay? I could be wrong on that, but I don't think so. Okay? That's what I got. It was important because we had to have a base of individuals that would not lose hope and would not cave and would not give in and give up and allow under certain circumstances. There had to be a line of hope behind the scenes to inform the public. Otherwise, you would have lost them all. I mean, nothing, because all they see is the mainstream media. Is the only way they were going to get through to have soldiers in the public. And what it taught people to do is not to give up. Yes, it has been tedious. It has been long. We've basically been kept okay. I mean, yeah. But there was enough information given to keep, trailing along. I know somebody's going to say that. But such is life. Such is faith. When you're going through something hard, the guidance comes, the hope comes, the faith comes, and it gets you through. And that's why this whole movement is important. And there will always be people that take advantage for their own purposes. There will always be that. I don't know what happened. Are we still here? We're still live? Comment, please. I'm back. Okay. Well, the Wi-Fi went down to one bar. I don't know what's going on in the area, or somebody just kind of like stiffed me out and they're cutting me off. Anyway, no, my phone just said my Wi-Fi net went down for a second there. Anyway, the Q movement has been very important. Everybody's part in it is equally as important. Okay, so I'm excited. I'm excited. I think we're going to have a lot of entertainment coming up here. But good news is, if I'm correct, everything is going to be good. So don't lose hope. One thing that I've said time and time again, faith is not easy. parenthood is not for the faint of heart. All right. It is beautiful. It is fulfilling. It is the greatest love you'll ever know. But it's the scariest and the messiest and the most heart-wrenching thing you will ever do, and every moment is worth it. And this is the same deal that we're going through right now. Same deal. Every moment will be worth it. Now I'm hopeful on the RV too. I'm expecting it any day now. I think Phil did get that information. But I also put out something yesterday because I was like, okay, so he said last week, and I put out a smart ass post, but it was in good fun. It was just saying, well, Phil, welcome to our world. We're waiting on the RV. Come and sit with us in the corner and shoot some shit for a while, because it's like this has happened to me so many times, and so many other people who report. The thing that was holding up the RV was Donald Trump and his negotiations. You know how he does. Just get what he wants. He walks. And he waits. And there was something that went on with with Iraq. And then the situation with the Ukraine and Russia with the cabal, everybody and their mother giving the cabal money over in Ukraine. That's that CRS again. Can't remember shit. Okay, so everybody's giving, help the Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. Oh, let's bleed our economy dry and send it all to Ukraine. What are we doing? They're buying gold and silver and stockpiling it in the Ukraine so that they can save the central banks, they can save the cabal. And we cannot proceed if that is happening. So they said, Putin, you get in there, get it out. They're trying to save themselves. Okay? And so that had to happen. And then we had something going on in Iraq. And so basically, long story short, as a negotiator on the financial, he said, why don't you get that fixed? And then you can come back and talk to me. And then all of a sudden, they're coming to D.C., really? Yeah. That was the report back to me. Doesn't mean he stepped in to hold up the RV now. It means that that's why everybody's, it's happening this weekend. It's happening on Wednesday. It's happening, didn't come to pass because had to get that cleaned up. You can't, and I think the reason Phil posted on Telegram, he posted a post and it said something, I can't quote him exactly because, it's me. I forget. I just throw out the gist of things. Anyway, so he says, I went to school at Riverside High School or something, and our mascot was a Viking. The only capitalizations in that was R and V. Before that, he was talking about the something big that was coming. And everybody says, it didn't come, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting over here. Yeah, man, I'm with you. I know how that feels. I know. It's like I've done that so many times. And I'm like, come on, God, send the confirmation, please. And then he's like, well, just give it a few more days. That's what I heard. And then he posted that, and I'm like, RV. He's talking about the RV, and he never talks about the RV. Why would he be talking about the RV? Because the RV is the beginning that kicks off Nasara. I don't really know why, but I'm not really knowledgeable on all that, but I just know that's true. And Phil's business is in silver. And that's okay. And he's watching silver, and he knows that if the If they go to gold and silver backed money and there's a lot of things that are going to happen, then silver's going to go up. So he is acknowledging the beginning of Nasara Jasara with his intel about the RV, and we were waiting for that any day now. It could happen today. I am too personally involved to get the correct information, apparently, on that. And I have been trying, because that is the number one question asked of me for like 150 years now. Get tired. When is that coming? But I asked God, I don't know, maybe a month ago. And I was like, okay, let's try this a different way. What will I see in my life when it happens? When it's time? And then all of a sudden, I just saw this vision of me looking out a window. I've been trying to find a damn row of trees in the window. But sometimes they'll give you a vision that is not exact. Okay. Looking out a window, and I see a row of trees. Like tall trees. Most of them are dark green, but a couple were half red. I'm like, oh, it's when the leaves are turning. And then I posted on Telegram that I was driving around and I was looking around. I'm like, oh, the leaves are turning. So, I mean, everything says now. Everything says now. I mean, it's all around us. There's no going back from here. The bad guys will try to do something catastrophic to stop this. They thought they were smart and they were going to funnel money and create some other situation that had to happen anyway. Okay, so while you're trying to destroy our evil lair in Ukraine, we're going to stockpile money and rebuild, because all their money's been taken. The financial markets, everything's on the verge of collapse if it hasn't already. We've never been here. Okay? People are like, oh, we've been hearing about this RV for 12 years, 20 years, whatever. We've never been here. There's never been so much confirmation. So hang in there. Make sure you got stuff. Don't hawk your silver. Don't sell your foreign currency. Don't hawk your silver. Just hang in there, you know? Because it's coming. I mean, just any day now. And then we've got this whole progression of events here to get, because everybody's like, well, how do we even get to Grassley? Basically, everybody falls away. There is a plan in place all this time for that. So that's my Gentel for today. Those are my thoughts. Let's go to questions. I'm going to take a few questions and then we'll get going because I got other stuff to do. I scroll back here. I'm just saying, for anybody, you guys, you have seen me struggle with the timelines, right? And the reason people don't put out dates is because of this. And anybody who's brave enough to go out there and put out a date, and it's not like pulling your leg, who's honestly trying, who honestly heard something, don't come back then later and criticize them. Because they're doing it for you. They're trying. You got to, it's just like if a kid's playing a game and you're like, I'm going to win this one for you, and then they don't. When you say, oh my God, you're such a loser. I mean, you don't do that. It's so mean. I mean, come on. People are trying to keep people going. And yeah, there are people take advantage, and there's people that are supposed to be put out misinformation and blah, 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 blah. But I'd say the majority of the people that are putting out information are honestly trying to help people keep going, give people hope. So let's be adult if the date's off on something. For me too. Me too. I'd like that too. People are usually pretty nice to me. All right. Do you see us having RV appointments before Grassy steps in? I don't freaking know. Okay. I'm just so that one is like, if I never hear that question again, I'll be good with that because I have gotten that wrong. And I'm not used to getting things wrong. I'm okay with it. I get things wrong, but I just don't like getting things wrong. What's up with the stock market? Well, it's crashing. That's a big problem. But like I said, it's going to crash. And when I originally saw it coming down to, and I don't know anything about the stock market, I originally saw it coming down like 18. And then it'll go back up eventually. Yes, it is event driven. It is event driven. But people are hurting and struggling and hanging in there and at the end of their rope and everything, and they just keep asking when. Jen, when will I be okay? When will I be free? When will I have enough money to relax? When will this stress be over? And I'm just like, God, help me give this person this answer. Help me do this. Help me do this. Help me do this. And I try. And a lot of people try. So be loving. Understand that although some people are, making a living off of it and doing many things, I do think that a lot of people at the center and at the core have true divine intention to bring people hope and help them keep going. This is Uncle Ron. Will Lily fully recover from her gland problem? I did healing on Lily for that. Yeah. Yeah, she will. Lucy's 100-year-old mother passed away. Everybody pray for Lucy. Will she be okay? Yeah. She'll come to a place when your mom made it to 100. Okay, she stayed as long as she could, and she'll be grateful for the time we had. And it is hard. It's hard to miss people and everything, but it's just something we got to go through as people. She'll be okay. Oh my God, that's a good question. Magnum Mike says, Jen, does God and the angelic realm consider eating meat a negative to your ascension? I don't know. I have thought about that. You know what? It's funny. I have thought about that so many times. And I just keep eating meat. All my life. It's almost like certain times in my life, not like in a crazy way or anything, but just in quiet thought. Well, watch the behaviors of people. And I question some of the things that we do. And I just do it anyway. But then just my fault, probably. But I thought about that. And I thought, why do we all consume each other? I mean, how barbaric. I mean, is that something that like the cabal started? Is that like, but you take a look at animals, they consume each other too. And so it's like, is that, so what you're asking is, does it hold you back from ascending? my whole view of ascension is different from others. People think there's like, oh, okay, we're all just going to switch into this 5D existence, and anybody who's not on board is screwed, okay? Because we're all more ascended than others, and we're just, holier than thou and everything like that. And I don't like that way of looking at God's children. From what I've learned from the Father is He is ever merciful and present in all of His children, and everybody's got a different journey. Everybody's at a different, quote, level. Human beings want to put labels and levels on everything. Some highly advanced souls have come into this life to experience not being that. To sit on a street corner in filth and understand what that's like. So that is why we are told not to judge. Now, you can judge somebody whether their behavior and their ways and their beliefs fit into your journey or your life, are destructive to your progress, and keep them out of it. But so I don't view this ascension thing the same as others. I think collectively, yeah, there are those that are rising in vibration collectively, and it's bringing that up for the planet. But there are those who are descending. There's always a balance in everything. I don't. What raises your vibration is your intent and your deeds and your thoughts and your desire to aspire to be divine. Resisting that judgment, resisting that anger, that hate, that rage, that jealousy, that greed. Love, joy, laughter. That raises your vibration. This thing that we're walking around in here, that's just a vehicle. All right, happen again. All right, so I'm going to get off here in a little bit because this keeps happening. But you do cleanse away the energy of things that you consume and that you come in contact with. So I don't think it impedes your ascension. But you may not feel as well ingesting something of low vibration as you would of something of high vibration, which would be like natural plants and things like that. All right, I'll stop doing that. I could go on and on. Get on my soapbox. Just a vehicle. That's right. I know I went frozen. Jen, when will my son Cody find a job that is local, making the income he needs? Denise Kearns, Debbie Kearns. What's wrong with me? Any more coffee? 3 weeks. Let's see. Let's ask that. Is McDonald's serving people human meat? I can't even believe I have to ask that. No. Okay. Something about 3. I think that's 3 years ago. What I'm getting is that there were certain locations owned by certain individuals where you could either go and get that, or they were disposing of something that way. Here's why I don't believe that that's so on a mass scale. I know there's some video, some dude who looked like crazy, okay? All excited about the idea that they have been putting it in all of the hamburgers. I don't think, I don't, if you go to your local McDonald's today and get one, will it be in there? No. Okay, so as a, I'm basically a rational person. I studied marketing. I studied business. I managed businesses before I, when I had a real job. Everybody and their mother has been trying to take McDonald's out forever. And they can walk in, get a burger, go and test it. And if there was anything off about what's in that, and it has been done, if there's anything off about it that was in that, it would have been huge. All the other fast food giants want to take out McDonald's because they outperform everybody else. Basically always have. That's why I believe that if there's anything wrong with those burgers, it would have come out. Probably would have said it was something else, but they would have taken them all down. Those things are tested. There's a lot of testing that goes on to ensure that's not going on, and they're spied upon a lot. And the other thing that makes me think that that's not happening is Donald Trump. He eats a lot of hamburgers and a lot of McDonald's. And don't you think he'd know? Pretty sure he knows everything about that. Now, when we saw all these food processing plants burning down, now I'm going to tell you what, that's what I got, is that they were disposing of, okay, what do you do with all the remains? All these people, they get rid of it in the food processing plants. That's why they burnt down. All right, let's do one more and then I got to get going. Our Social Security benefits going up for our seniors. I saw this a long time ago for people in individual readings. Time and time again, that their amount that they receive for Social Security would, for some people, triple. This is the time that I saw it happening. Now, everything on the time periods have been pushed off and delayed. This whole thing was supposed to be done by the 4th of July. I got that too. We have been delaying and pushed off and blah, blah, blah. But when it happens, what's going to happen is that I do believe that your, what is it called? Consistency trust or whatever. I always screw that up. From your birth certificate that's been traded many, many times will be your retirement account. And you will be able to decide how much you want a month or whatever. I think initially they'll probably take up the Social Security. I still call it that. But it's not going to be Social Security anymore. There's really something wrong with that whole system. I think that it didn't turn out to be what it was originally supposed to be. And that's all going to change. And yes, it will go up. I did see that happening in the fall. I did see people's Social Securities, their retirement going up in the fall. Now, whether that's been delayed, we'll see. I hope not, because people need it right now. I also did see at sometimes some kind of stimulus coming out to the people when things get really bad. Okay, so keep an eye out for that. Blah, 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 blah. Quarter pounder with cheese. Stop talking about that. My God, that freaks me out. When I first heard that. Oh my God, when I first heard that, I'm like, are you freaking serious? I feed that to my children? Oh my God. Just let's all pray. Let's just all pray right now. God. That was never my intention, God. I apologize for Jesus. I had no idea. Oh my God. Ugh, it's going to get worse. Ugh, it's going to get worse. It's going to get better very short period of time. It's going to get much better really fast for us, the people. For them, it's going to get worse. And for people that know nothing, they're going to think everything's getting worse. But we're going to be over here like, oh my God, it's happening. It's happening. So don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. We never give up faith. Pray to God right now and ask Him for everything. Involve Him in everything. You just don't understand the power of prayer. I do. I have seen many miracles in my journeys. I have seen my 2-year-old daughter get to that concrete flight of stairs down to the patio before me, right behind her, step down full, lift up, spin mid-air over what was it? It was like 4 or 5 steps. Set down gently. And I was by myself during the day. On the ground in front of me. That kid would have cracked her head open. I'm serious. That must have been one of those, hey, we have to intervene because she's really going to mess herself up with this one. I watched it. So if you don't believe in angels, take a look back over your life and really go through the details of that accident or whatever happened to you, because I saw it. And I have seen many miracles. I have seen many people healed. And every time I openly, honestly open my heart to God and say, God, I need this. It comes. Do that too. I'm going to get going because my internet's starting to get a little shaky again. But I love you guys. I love you all. Join us over on Telegram if you're not there yet. We pray for everybody. We talk about everything. We kid around, and we have no filters over there. So enjoy your week. Keep your eyes out. And until next time, get over to the right thing. Until next time. Oh, I will be on Real News Live. If you're tuning into this live, 10/18/22, I will be on Real News Live with Mike Barra tomorrow morning. As always, if he does not have too much jet lag. Otherwise, we might just push it off. But as of now, that's the Gentel. Have a great day.